Hey Jason, how are you? It's good to see
Hey, Hugo, good to see you, man.
Hey, I just wanted to talk to you, especially because I'm interested to hear about your side of your stories and what you provide to our work here. And I've been enjoying your work over on St. Denis. So
Yeah.
I would love to hear from you if you could tell us some stories with your name and what you do.
Well, my name is Jason Anderson. I am an actor. I've been doing it for 25 years. And in terms of standing in on sitcoms, I've been doing that for about 15 years. And I love it. I love them both. You mentioned St. Denis. It's a new show, a new comedy show. And I was cast as a nurse, Nurse Purdy on the show. And
Very cool.
what'll happen is I'm part of the core of the show. So we're in pretty much every episode. And there are some episodes when you'll hear me speak, some episodes where you'll see me walking around in the back, some episodes where I'm, helping with a surgery or something like that. It's something different every time, and I love it.
Yeah, how did you fall into that type of work? How does that work?
Interestingly, for this show in particular, they wanted actors who also had some medical background. And I was actually a nurse's assistant for a long time in a high school. And I did it every summer and even during the school year, I would work. So having that on my resume actually, I think was a gold star for me for that one. So having that experience and then the acting experience got me right in there.
Very cool, man. What's one of the most like proudest or fun episodes that you guys have done so far?
Oh man, what really sticks in my mind is an episode that was a fundraiser, and we all had to do a dance routine for the fundraiser, come up with all kind of crazy stuff. It was amazing and fun, and that's what I love about the job is that we have so much fun and
Hmm.
do the work at the same time, and that's a perfect combination for me.
Yeah, how about are you able to share any kind of like challenging moments of being on set? Because I know it's like a lot of hours, and what does that entail for you as far as like things that you might have been asked?
Right. Well, one of the old adages of Hollywood is that shooting a show is a lot of hurry up and wait.
Hmm.
So there are moments when you're rushing and rushing, trying to do things to get ready. And then there are these lulls, and a lot of times the lulls can be very long, so being being able to occupy yourself during those times, being able to stay focused on what you need to do during those times, that can be a little difficult. But long hours are I've gotten used to them now. And really, if you have a creative mind, if you're a productive person, it gives you plenty of time to fill it, with the things you want to do or things you need to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a lesson I've learned is to fill the lulls.
Yeah, it's true because you want to be ready for when they call you. You want to make sure that you're on point and that you bring that energy that they're expecting you to bring. You don't want to come in and be like tired or, just not up to task and that's your moment.
Absolutely, because you'll sit around for a time, and at times you'll fall out of focus, and in an instant they'll say, "Okay, we're ready for you. We need
Mhm.
we need you to be funny. We need you to be on point, and we need you to make us all laugh. So go."
Yeah.
And to to do that, you need to be in a mind frame. So it helps to stay in that mind frame the whole time, so that when you're asked, you're ready to go.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with the work that you've done as a stand-in because that's how I've been working closely with you here at Night Court. So, are you able to tell us kind of a typical day for you, like day one that you get the script?
Yeah, you know, as you know, shooting a sitcom is essentially a week-long process. It takes 5 days. So if you imagine it as a Monday through Friday week,
Hmm.
on that Monday, on day one, it'll usually be what's called a table read, which is exactly what it sounds like. The actors sit around a large table with the director, the writers, a lot of the producers, and they literally read the script out loud.
Hmm.
It's the first time a lot of people are hearing the story, first time we're able to familiarize ourselves with the story.
Hmm.
And for a stand in, what generally happens is if a part hasn't been cast or if an actor isn't available for the table read that day, they'll have the stand in come in and fill in for that actor and read that part. And generally that will get short notice on that because a lot of times it'll be, an actor's running late or there's an emergency or a scheduling thing. And they'll decide last minute that they need someone to come in and read the part, which is why they prefer for a lot of stand-ins to have some acting experience, if not training and experience. But a lot of us have both training and experience acting, and they understand and they trust us to handle that part.
Yeah, because your role with us at Night Court is very essential because I mean I've seen you where you've done the performances like live for the producers and the writers so they could see if how they like the delivery, how they like how the scene plays, and if you guys were not available for anything of that, we would pretty much be stalled or we would be on just waiting, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's our entire purpose. Our As a stand-in, we are there to fill in for the actors whenever they're not available. And for a stand-in on a sitcom, that's usually during rehearsals. If an actor can't make it, we'll come in and fill in for that part. And if a cast member or if a part hasn't been cast yet, there is no cast member for that part. The stand-in will fill in there.
Um, what kind of skills do you rely on to get your job done? What's kind of your process?
The three things I would say mostly are attention to detail, because it is our responsibility as a stand-in to know where the actors are, what they're doing, what their action is in the scene, whether they, enter a room or leave a room, if they're standing or sitting when they're doing things, if they interact with any props. We're asked to know that because we might have to reenact that at a later time. So, attention to detail. I would say a good memory on, which goes hand in hand with that attention to detail. And then, some acting skills because you're going to be asked to play a lot of different parts. You never know what they're going to be, a wide range of things. And being able to handle that, is a big skill.
Yeah, you mentioned, or I know that you said that you didn't know that this was a paid job, a job that was part of production. How did you fall into doing this type of work?
You know, I actually fell into it by chance. A casting director that I work with, she was tasked with casting a brand new sitcom. It was a pilot at the time. And she said, we need stand-ins for this pilot. And I said, absolutely, I'll do it. And then I said, what's a stand-in? Because I had no idea what it was. And then I got to set and I learned the job quickly and I fell in love with the job, I think, even more quickly, because as an actor, it essentially gives you a behind the scenes look at how a sitcom is made. And I had worked mostly in theater and in features before sitcoms. So this is my first long-term sitcom standing in job. And it's amazing to see what everyone does, all the different departments working together, because the sitcom is very much, when you're shooting, it's very much like a dance, a choreography between the actors and the cameras, everything moving at the same time. And it was amazing to learn how it works and then still to watch it play out every day at work.
Yeah, well, we got to meet on a sitcom, which was Mike and Molly, and I have a lot of great memories from that show. Is there anything that you would want to share about your experience on that show?
So Mike and Molly was actually my second show. I met an amazing assistant director, Michelle Azenzer Bear, who she started working on Mike and Molly, I believe in the second season. And she said, we need some stand-ins to work on the show. And I think you'd be perfect for it. So she brought me over to the show. And the moment I got there, because as I said, it was already the second season of the show. So Mike and Molly had built a bit of a family going on. So I
Yeah.
was kind of a newcomer coming into the show, and I was welcomed with such open arms. And it was one of the first times that from top to bottom, everyone appreciated everyone's contribution to what we were doing there. We're all there to make a funny show, a great show, and for the first time, I felt like every single person's job was valued in the way that it should be. And It was eye-opening experience. I learned a lot there, met some great people like you, Hugo. And, I made some great connections too that have sustained me getting new jobs and working on different projects, So it was invaluable to me, my experience at Mike and Molly.
Oh, I agree. I mean, I got there the second season myself, and I got the same welcome like you mentioned. And I think that that also made us want to make sure if there was ever a newcomer that we made them feel like they've always been there as well, because that was kind of the
Absolutely.
attitude, and that was just what from like you said from top to bottom the kind of energy that that show demanded. And if you were not willing to be a part of this family, this team, it wasn't going to go, as fun or wasn't going to go well.
Right, right. Everyone bought in. Everyone, there was a genuine respect and love there that you could feel it. You felt it every day, even on rehearsal days when you're shooting, the audience days, you felt it all.
Yeah. Well, if you were to have to do this career path all over again and like today, what kind of advice would you give or what would you do differently?
Uh, you know, Looking back, when I first started out, I would tell my starting out self that I should ask more questions, because we as stand-ins are in a unique position to interact with a lot of the actors and the people that we work with, directors, all of the crew. And a lot of times they are very willing to answer questions that you have if you're willing to ask.
Yeah.
Obviously it's a workplace and you want to find the right moments and stuff, but people are very willing to give you advice, tell you their story, maybe help you out on your path. So I wish that I had learned that earlier, not been so timid about it, because I do it now. It's something that I really value about the work that we do. We're working with such creative minds and such brilliant people, and a lot of times they are willing to share that talent and brilliance with you. All you have to do is ask. So yeah, I would tell my younger self, ask more questions.
Yeah, and I think that kind of enhances also your experience on that show, which brings out like a different skill or a different side of what you could bring to the table. And yeah, it makes like we had mentioned before, the more comfortable you feel in your element, I think enhances uh your performance.
That's absolutely right, Hugo.
Well, thank you, Jason. I'm really happy that we got to talk and we got to get a glimpse of your world. And yeah, we can't wait to keep seeing you on our screens.
That's awesome, man. Thank you, Hugo.
Bye, Jace.
Bye, man.